Hey guys, Phil from Trail Talk here and welcome to part 2 of the vlog. If you haven't watched part 1, definitely watch that first. I'll put that in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, definitely do that. We've got plenty more videos coming soon. So as you saw in the last vlog, I did the all mountain race and today was time for the flow race. So it was the Maxxis Flow Motion Cup and I managed to get one practice in the morning, so pretty happy with that. And the flow trail, again, like the all mountain, there's nothing really that's going to catch you out. It's pretty much nail the corners and see if you can sprint a little bit in between. So won't bother with the practice watching that. Let's go straight into the race and we'll watch that now. Okay, so dropping in on the race. So it was pretty cool starting that start gate. You don't usually get to start in something like that, so it was pretty cool. So this first section here is actually really fast. I was watching all the other guys because you can see from the top from the start and they're all going so fast through there, so I didn't want to look bad, so I tried to go as fast as I could at the start, which I soon regret, as you'll probably see soon. But this first section through the woods is pretty cool. I only got to practice it once, as I said. So there's one section here coming up that you can kind of gap into a thing and then you can go into the rock garden. So here on the left you can gap over there and then go down the rock garden here, but just completely missed it. But I tried to whip really cool in front of that guy there on the smallest jump. It would have looked probably so bad, but I didn't get a photo of it anyway, so it was all for nothing. If I screwed up, that would have been terrible. So yeah, through here, I gassed myself out way too quickly. I was trying to be cool when I probably shouldn't. So you kind of come back out here and it opens up, and by this time my legs were already gassed. And then I was like sitting down, I was getting bucked over those rollers there, and that's kind of when I made my first mistake. So I was coming around here, I was so gassed, and then I decided to sit down in a stupid time and I clipped my pedal right here on a rock and almost fell off in front of people there. That would have been hilarious to watch. They're like, what the hell is this guy doing? But yeah, so this part here is pretty fun. Nice little jump over there, then it comes up, and then this going into this ramp here, pretty sketchy because there's a little water pit there. But no, it's pretty cool, this first section. I was pretty happy with how that section all went, apart from that little mess up there. It wasn't too slow, so it was pretty good. And so this top section, like most of the flow trail, it's just all berms and straights. There's not really much to it, and it's one of those ones that's a real leg burner. You're just holding yourself the whole time, and I've noticed, for me at least, cardio is not necessarily the issue. It's more glute, quad strength, and just being able to hold yourself up for that time, because you're holding yourself up and you just can't sprint. That's the hard part. So yeah, I'm just massively weak. That's the main issue that I'm noticing. It doesn't help that you're fatigued a bit, but yeah, that's the biggest thing with these kind of longer stages. You definitely notice how tired you get. Again, like the all mountain, can't remember exactly how long it is. I'll probably put an annotation up. But yeah, it's definitely, in that part there, that's really fun. It's just like this little drop that sends you out. But yeah, it's definitely more of a leg burner. That's where it gets you. It's not the cardio. Well, for me at least, I'm definitely pretty weak at the moment, so that's kind of something that I really need to work on. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see kind of more structured stuff around training in terms of, and also diet and that kind of stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty interesting to get some more structured stuff, because it's something that I'm pretty interested in. I just don't put it into action when I actually learn a fair bit about it. I just don't do enough myself. But this part here is where you can make up or lose a lot of time. There's just a lot of these berms back to back, and you really need to nail them. You need to start, don't do what I'm doing. You need to start even higher. So get as high as you can on that berm and stay on that kind of hard pack there. As soon as you get into the loose stuff down the bottom of the berm, it's too late, you're washed out. So you need to stay as high as you can on those berms and just really dip in at the last second. So stay high for as long as you can. You'll definitely be rewarded around here, because yes, you've got that pea gravel. Wherever there's granite around, it seems to be, there's a lot more of this pea gravelly kind of stuff, and it's the same at Jindabyne, where there's a lot more of that granite kind of stuff. It's just, yeah, it gets really loose, and all the loose stuff collects at the bottom of the berm. And almost washed out a few times in practice, but yeah, it didn't do any in the race. But at least with this race run, we've got a full race run. I thought I lost it as well, but it turned out the GoPro was splitting the footage into 2 clips because it was getting too long. So the SD card was like, nah, we're splitting it in 2. And I thought I lost the other one, but I've got that as well. So it's too late now. You didn't see it, but we've got the full race run. So I might put the other one up eventually for the second half of the all mountain, but it's good that we got the full one here. So nothing really is exciting so far. A bit of this commentary, but so nice to get started, nice and fast here. It opens up a little bit, and you get next to the downhill here. So it's like nice and fast here. A few little doubles that I don't hit properly. That's the main thing. The guys, as I said, definitely really fast. But the good thing about the flow race, I didn't get overtaken, which I don't know. Considering my place, won't say it yet. I don't know how I didn't get overtaken at all. But I think the field was a lot closer together in terms of time, so I think that was the main difference. But yeah, no one ever took me, so that was always good. So it must have been perfect placement for me. But I think I went really hard at the start, and that kind of helped too in terms of not getting past. So when I finished, there was about 15 seconds gap to the next person. So I was pretty happy with that. But then there were like 3 people that came straight away after that. So, but no, I really enjoy this track. It's so much fun. It's just really flowy. Some nice little jumps that aren't too big. I'm not a fan of big jumps. It's not my forte. I just like nice blue flowy trails and then some black tech sections thrown in there as well, but nothing too crazy. I'm not the craziest rider. I just like having fun. So. No, but the run, I was pretty happy with the run so far up to here. Like, you'll see in a second there's a little bit of a mistake, but no, I'm really happy with how it all went. Like, as I said, just gassed myself out of my legs too quickly. That's the big thing. But as long as you're just hitting the turns where you want them, that's the main thing. And then you can get a few pedal strokes out of them, carry momentum. That's the main thing on this trail, is just carrying all that momentum. Oh, sick little whip there. But yeah, that's the main thing that you just need to do with this race here. It's just carry momentum, and then when you are fit enough, put in those extra pedal strokes. But down here, I made a stupid mistake. So you come up here, and I thought during earlier in the week where I did a different section, you went down left there, and I was like, why did I even go there? Like, it's fixed law of fixation. So if you're looking at something, you're going to go there. Even though it was taped off and it was clear as day, yeah, you still go towards it. I don't even know why that happened, but I probably lost I reckon probably 3 seconds there, just for the fact that I slowed down for it a fair bit. But this section here was nice and fun. There's a few new jumps that's really good, and then it kind of opens up into this fast section here. I don't know if it's new or whether they just reworked it, but that was really, really fun through there. But I really enjoyed the track, and the small things that they've done to it for this year. It's really good. So that off-camber section there, that was pretty hard to get right. You had to stay really, really high and really lean the bike over to get the traction. But now the Assegai up front definitely makes a big difference. So yeah, I got the max grip up front. Last time when I reviewed the Assegai, I had the Max Terra, and going to the max grip, just night and day. Jake's been telling me for ages, go the max grip. You won't even know who you are. But it makes so much difference. You can just throw the bike into the corner and you know it's going to grip pretty much every time. And it is a game changer for me, especially with the double down casing as well. Up front, like most people run an EXO and maybe double down in the back, but having the double down up the front, just the tire just doesn't roll as much, and you definitely notice a bit more stability. That corner there was pretty damn loose. I knew a few people that washed out there. But yeah, that made a huge difference. And the bike's killer. Like, you'll see it soon. I do a bike check of the bike. But this bike, yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Perfect balance between all mountain and enduro. That's what you want. Especially for Australia, you don't want anything that's crazy enduro with a lot of these super enduro bikes that are coming out. I think striking that balance between all mountain and enduro is where it's at. Unless you are doing some crazy racing and you really, really want to push it. For me, or the Puntis, this is the perfect bike. So going into this last section here, there's a lot of, I don't know if it's here, it's a bit later, maybe in a minute, but there's a lot of tight berms back to back to back, and I think I lost so much time here, and everyone was there. Yeah, you can see it's in here. So yeah, you're just going berm back to back to back, and you just don't want to get on those brakes almost too much at all. You just want to nail every corner, but it's so hard, and it was getting so loose through here. The trail was torn to shreds at this point. It was getting pretty rutted out, and there wasn't that as much of a smooth hard packed surface in the berm at the top that you could really rail as much. It was definitely a lot more looser throughout the berm, and in practice I actually washed out here. So but it was getting too hard, and this is where I did lose a fair bit of time, I think. It made a big difference, but probably 4 or 5 seconds or something. I don't know. Wasn't too crazy, but yeah, I wasn't really happy with this part of the trail. I think I definitely could have done a fair bit better, but yeah, we're pretty much at the end here. I was pretty damn tired. It was not so much cardio as I said, it was just my legs couldn't hold me up at all. So yeah, crossed the line, and I was pretty damn happy to be finished with that, because I was gassed after the first 2 minutes. But no, it was pretty awesome. I was pretty damn happy with the race. So go back to Phil and you can see how I went.
Okay, so we're back by the river, so I just finished the race, so I thought I went pretty well. So I had a look at the results, and wait, I forgot where they came. 50th out of 54 or something like that, which might not seem that good, but I moved up from novice to amateur men this year, and then after amateur men is pro, so the competition in amateur men is actually pretty damn good. So I got 10:13, and then the top guy got 8:45, so I was only a minute and 30 seconds slower than the top fastest guy, who's probably almost a pro racer, which seems like a big distance, but it's actually, I'm pretty happy with that, so that's pretty damn good. So overall, considering the circumstances, like I only got to practice that track once and then the all mountain not at all, I'm actually pretty happy with how I went. So it's like first real actual ride on the new bike. I've only ridden it once or twice, and this is the first time I've taken it extensively, and then not really feeling the best, not making any excuses, but I'm actually pretty damn happy with how I went, all things considered. So I just want to say thanks again to Osprey. They actually sponsored my entries for these races, and that's pretty awesome for them to do. No plug or anything like that here, but I've been using Osprey packs for ages. I used to use them when I was hiking, when I was doing all my environmental science stuff, so I actually really like their stuff, and I'm pretty stoked they supported me for my entries for these races. And then wanted to support Bicycles Online as well for helping me out with the bike, and then also some jerseys as well with the entity stuff, and that should be coming out pretty soon as well, so that's exciting to see too. So for the rest of the day, we're just going to cruise around, maybe find some cool things, maybe interview a few people, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, so I realised I haven't even talked about the new bike that I've got. So it's a Marin Alpine Trail 7, as you can see there. And she's done a job really, really well since I've been at Cannonball. So I've only ridden the bike once before I got to Cannonball, so I didn't really get a good chance to mess around with it too much, but I've been really impressed so far. So the main reason I got the Alpine Trail 7, I like the Geo, and it was a good all-round bike that I was looking for. Kind of bridges that gap between all-mountain and enduro really, really well. So I wanted a bike that was still a bit playful, and something that was still relatively stable at speed. So I've noticed here that I haven't missed having a longer bike that I used to have, so the bird was a bit longer, and this thing has been plenty stable, so I don't really see the benefit in going a lot longer than this, especially for Australia. So I won't go too much into the detail about the bike here. I'll just talk about a few things that have changed so far, and then I'll go into a bit more detail in terms of the review when I do that kind of stuff like that. This is just kind of thoughts and stuff that I've noticed while I've been riding it so far. So the first thing that I changed, I put some metallic pads in these brakes. So these brakes, pretty average when you're using just normal resin, the resin pads that they come with, but when you get metallic pads, really transforms them. The braking performance has been really, really impressive, and I'm definitely not going to see the need to replace the brakes on this bike. I've got plenty of stopping power here. So I've got a Shimano metallic pad in the front, and then I've got some Entity metallic pads that should be coming out soon in the back, and they've both performed relatively similar. So the Entity pads are going to be some really great value pads when they come out, so I've been pretty impressed so far. In terms of the suspension, the Yari has been performing really well. Is a little bit harsher on those kind of more chattery hits, and B hits against to spike a bit more than a Lyric that has the Charger damper. But other than that, it's been really good. I've taken one volume spacer out of it, so it's got one in there, but I think I might take the other one out as well. And then I've got the X-Fusion rear shock on there as well, the O2, and it seems to be performing okay. I'm probably going to upgrade it to a DPX2 just because it has the piggyback on it, and it just provides a bit more control. So I'll probably upgrade that soon. Actually, I've got one ordered, so that will be coming soon as well. The SLX and E13 drivetrain, it's been amazing. I wouldn't see the need to go any more expensive than this. If you do want a little bit more, if you do want something in terms of shifting, you can get an XT shifter you can upgrade to, and that gives you the double downshift, so that would be something handy if you did want that. But other than that, it performs amazingly for the money. Add that to the list of things that go wrong. Probably will need a new derailleur hanger after that. But yeah, other than that, the components, I've changed the Assegai up front. Really, really like that tyre, so it's got the double down there. Usually I'd run an XO up front, but the double down is the only way you can get the max grip, and I really wanted the max grip for here. And then I've got the MSC gripper in the rear, so I'm reviewing that at the moment, and it seems to be performing pretty well. The casing's really, really good, so good weight in terms of the casing that you're getting. It's dual compound, not usually what I'd run. I prefer a triple compound, but for a dual compound, it's a bit softer than the Maxxis, but I would prefer probably still a little bit softer. And the X-Fusion dropper always performs well. So in terms of the spec, really, really good. The only thing that I could see upgrading was the brake pads, and then I'm going to upgrade the rear shock, but other than that, it's performing really, really well. As I said, the Geo has been really good for here, so I think it strikes that really good balance between maneuverability and stability. I think it's probably the best kind of balance that I've found. I've only found like 1 or 2 times that I would have preferred a slightly longer bike where I've been pitched up front, but I've changed it to a 45mm stem, so it comes with a 35, and then now I've got the 45mm NED stem on there, and that's helped a little bit, but I might go to a 50, and that would make things pretty much dialed for me, and I think that would be perfect. So that's pretty much the spec all sorted for. In terms of the Geo, yeah, pretty much spot on for what I like, and the rear suspension performs really well. Like, most people will ride on a single pivot. I don't see the issue with a single pivot unless you're braking in places that you usually shouldn't brake. Then you'll notice a bit more brake jack and it won't be as active under braking. But in terms of a single pivot, this is actually pretty active under braking for a single pivot, so I've actually been really impressed with that. So overall, pretty stoked on the bike so far, and then with those few small tweaks, I think it'll be pretty damn dialed for me. And really, haven't spent that much on it to get it done. I mean, brake pads and then changing that rear shock. Other than that, might put the Charger 2.1 damper in the fork soon, but yeah, it's a pretty damn dialed bike for the money. So I'll get a few more months of the bike, and then I'll show you guys my long-term review after that in a while. So good to sneak in a quick first impressions here. I know a lot of you guys enjoy the review kind of things, then it's good to kind of chill after the whole hectic race thing and sit down and talk about bikes for a little. Alright, so we're here with Dave from Osprey Australia. I just want to say thanks again for sponsoring us for some of the races.
No dramas.
So it was awesome, it had so much fun. So why don't you give us a rundown of some of the most popular models for the next year?
Sure. So the 2 key styles I guess I'll show for this summer coming up and next winter are the Raptors and the Ravens, both our high-end technical hydration pieces, both for men's and women. They come in a 14 litre volume, large capacity, more gear storage for those longer days out on the trail, and then a smaller 10 litre one, and for the women as well. Then also we've got the hydration lumber pieces. So the Savu gives you the ability to pop a bidden water bottle into here, so carry 2 of those, plus the necessities. Or you've got the option with the Cyril, which is hydration compatible. So it comes with a 1.5 litre lumber bladder, as well as plenty of storage for a full day on the trail, or you can press it down for a shorter race around the trails after work. So yeah, those are the key pieces to see coming in this season.
Thanks for showing us, and where's the best place to find some info about
Definitely check out osprey.com.au. You'll find all the info there and be able to find through that way our nearest stockist to your house.
Too easy. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Cheers.
There you go, we've come to the end of our Cannonball journey. It was pretty good to finish with the whip wars. It was pretty awesome seeing those guys do that. There was some crazy flips. There was also a guy that flipped and nose case the end of it and did flip off and stuff like that. Didn't get that on footage unfortunately, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. But no, I really enjoyed Cannonball this year, even though I was sick. Definitely got the most out of it, got the races done, and thanks to Osprey again for sponsoring my entries. I might not have been able to go this year if that didn't happen, so it was pretty awesome of them to do that. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, also subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching guys. See ya.